Hey, Vinyl Community, Jason here. Tuesday evening. Thought I would make a video, some recent vinyl finds. Yeah, it's been crazy around here lately. Just working on the house, and it's been nonstop. But my mother-in-law's coming next week with a bunch of records I sent to Brazil. I've been buying for the last year and a half. So I kind of wanted to do a video since I got a huge stack behind me. So I kind of wanted to, just do a video, get through those. Let me, got beer tonight, St. Archer Hazy IPA. So first beer in a few days, but I figured, it's a good time to drink a beer. Like I mentioned, I haven't been buying a lot of I wasn't buying a lot of records in the wild during the pandemic and stuff, but lately I've come across a lot more records locally, which is why I have a huge stack. I bought a lot more records than I had thought I was going to get. Which is great. Surprise! There's I get stuff locally pretty cheap, which is great. But I've been buying stuff online, and I did have a package from Brazil arrive too. So just accumulated a huge stack of stuff. So let's jump right in. First, I will kick it off. This is what we're listening to. This is Onça Combo. This is their sophomore album, Ubi Sunt. Onça Combo. This is on my favorite Brazilian label, Goma Gringa. This is the latest release. Came out in 2020. The LP was pressed in 2021, but I think that it was released online in 2020. This is, like I mentioned, the second album. The first album I really like a lot, and I was hoping they would do a second, and they did, so I'm really excited that they did that. And it's a pretty cool cover. It'll be Sunt on the back, and just some cool stuff going on. This is a pretty small press too, like most of their stuff, but I'm really excited to get. I love these guys. As you can hear, it's kind of it's jazzy, but it kind of has an Eastern. It's jazz, but it has an Eastern kind of influence. The percussion is, it is a three-piece, but they actually have some guest players on here. This time, some violin and. So it's usually just a percussion guitar player. I like the way the guitar player. I think he's Brazilian, but I think he lives in Europe. But the way he plays is very open, kind of open chords. I don't know, but it's very kind of Eastern influenced, and the percussion is pretty light. It's hand drums, and it's kind of it's a little bit free, but it's kind of groovy, and it's very full. I think because of the guitar. And so stoked to get that. I finally got it in the mail a week ago or something. Really happy. Love it. Next, I'll show these. So these actually got a chance to open. These they just came last week, and it's just been crazy. But this is I belong to a record club in Brazil. So this is 2020. This is 22. So they started in 19. So this is this would have been. October 2020 release. This is Amaro Freitas, and I think this is actually the second press. The first, they pressed this in, he's a Brazilian jazz musician from, I want to say Bahia, I'm not sure. But, so they did press this earlier in Europe, probably in UK. So it's kind of straight ahead jazz. It's not really my favorite type of stuff. But it's still good, it's still enjoyable. So Amaro Freitas, Recife. It's cool. I actually don't belong to the club anymore in 2021. I literally haven't opened the last 6 of them, so too much. This is the one after 23. I haven't opened this one either. This is Mateus Aleluia, and I guess the name is Cinco Sentidos and. This is pretty good. I like this one. This is more kind of so this guy's older. I think this is his second album. It's kind of more of a traditional Brazilian samba. but it has like a little bit of an indie tinge to it, but it's kind of more of that like old school kind of samba you would hear like during Carnival or something, but it's pretty mellow. I like this one, it's really good. So I'll crack that at some point. They did press his first one, and it actually has a new album too. It hasn't been pressed on vinyl, but it's pretty good. So they're all kind of the same thing. This one I haven't opened yet either, but I've been actually listening to this a bunch while I've been working on my yard and stuff. This is Alessandra Leal, and the name of the album is Dois Cordois. So this is 24. This is the last one from December 2020 release. This is really good. This is actually her first album from 2009, so it finally got a vinyl press. They had done one of her later ones. I think it was her latest one at the end of 2019. That one's good too, but I really like this one. It actually reminded me of Bahia Sound System. Is that the name? Bahia Sound System? Yeah, I don't know why that sounds funny, but it was Bahia Sound System, and this is kind of like, it's not reggae, but it's like Bahian, like Afro beat kind of like groovy, like yes, Afro beats kind of like has a reggae feel a little bit, but this one's, I mean, she plays drums and percussion and sings. But this one was way before Bahia Sound System, so I was just like, wow, I feel like she influenced their sound, and they're pretty, like their records are pretty sought after, especially the first presses of those, which came out the first one came out like 5 years ago maybe, and they're really good too. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. The Afrobeat, but it's very percussion heavy, like hand drum heavy, so it's really good. So I highly recommend this one. Yeah. So I definitely haven't cracked it yet, but I've been listening to it a lot online. So those are the ones I got from Brazil last week. So like I said, I've been working on my yard, just haven't had a chance to crack them. So I come across a jazz, a local like jazz score. This guy hit me up. I was going for my birthday, went to just pass a list for like the weekend. And the guy hit me up like literally the night before I was leaving, like, oh man, I just got, he texted me, he's a record dealer that I bought from, like, actually during the pandemic. I went to his house, he posted something on Craigslist. I'm like, man, he lives so close, it's like a mile away, like right down the street from the grocery store I go to. So I went there one time. You sell records for like cheap, like $1. I bought like a couple, it was so stuff. I bought a few pretty good gems, nothing like insane, but I bought like a Bowie and just kind of it was mostly like classic rock, but he was selling for like $1 or $2 each. It was like super cheap. But whatever, I gave my number and said, hey, if you come across anything like look for jazz or like anything like really good, I'll definitely pay money for it. So surprisingly, he kept my number, he hit me up, and he said, hey, I got some like what did he say, like Duke Ellington, Ella Fitzgerald, and Sonny Rollins records. Like, do you know anyone that'd be interested? And I was like, oh yeah, I'll check them out, So, but I was like, oh man, I'm leaving tomorrow, or maybe it's a couple days, but I'm like, I can come now, but I don't know, it just didn't work out. And then I just couldn't get to his house for a couple weeks, and finally, I just kind of was going to the store, and I was like, screw it. I actually got a little bit of trouble, because I was supposed to have people over, but I really wanted to check out this guy's records, and I thought it would just be a bunch of junk, so I thought it'd be like, 10-minute stop. But yeah, he had this insane jazz collection, and he said he had sold, and I tried to go the weekend before actually, but he sold at a record show, so he's a record dealer. And I didn't know that, but when I got there, he's telling me, oh yeah, I was at a record show. So I think he sold a bunch of stuff the weekend before. I don't know if he took it all, because he had there was a lot of records. There was probably like 400 or 500 maybe. So I don't know if he took them all and sold them or what, but there wasn't a lot of Blue Notes. It was jazz. Everything was like near mint, like VG Plus near mint. It was a very well kept collection. He said it was this lady who had like husbands who passed away, it was in storage, whatever. But there was no there was no like Miles Davis or Coltrane or some of the more recognizable. There was like not a really, there was a couple Blue Notes, but nothing like big Blue Note stuff. It was like more kind of like on the fringe, or maybe just not as desirable stuff. But so I did score a bunch, and it ended up being like $3 a piece. So you'll see I scored some insane records, and this was like the first big one I saw. This is Music Inc., Stan Lecowle, Charles Tolliver, on Strata East. This is the original, and this thing's like so clean. So I saw this in like the second box, and I almost like, you know, lost it. Like, so I just grabbed it, you know, and I started grabbing. And this is, I mean, you guys know this is really good. I like this. It's not too crazy out there or anything, but it's just kind of a little different. Yeah, and I don't have any I didn't have any Strata East records, so I was super excited to get this. But I was so like, man, I was so surprised it was in there. And then once I got that, I just started pulling like all kinds of crap because I just didn't want to have like 3 or 4 records, you know, big hitters, and okay, this is what I want, you know, that I just knew that, I figured he knew that I was just taking like these crazy records. So I started just throwing in a bunch of stuff that I had no idea, or, you know, maybe I thought it was good or whatever, but I just take a chance because I wanted to like, I guess, blend it in. So he had no idea that I was pulling like these monster records. So that was the first one I got. I saw that. This was the one, I think the one Blue Note. No, I did get 2 Blue Notes, but this is McCoy Tyner, Tender Moments. This one's awesome. So I think this might be early 70s, late 60s, but this is the first press. Yeah, most of the stuff was like first press or like early reissue. And these are all super clean, so I really did enjoy this. I mean, I don't have to explain it. If you're watching this, you know McCoy Tyner. Yeah, so that one's awesome. Really stoked on that. These are all, like I said, super clean. This is McCoy Tyner, live at Newport. This is, yeah, the original on Impulse. I didn't like this one as much as Tender Moments. I've still liked it. I'm not exactly sure. Probably, I gotta listen to it again. I only listened to these maybe once. The Strata East ones I listened to a couple times. But yeah, I just didn't enjoy this one as much as Tender Moments, but still good. And I found McCoy Tyner records in the past, but some like later stuff. So this is kind of more, I guess, it's a little bit earlier. I found like later, I say later, like late 70s, which I was good. I just didn't really strike me as much. I really like Tender Moments. Thought it was awesome. This is another Stan Lecowle. This is the repress. I think the original was pressed in a different country. I can't remember. Italy, maybe? I'm not sure. But this is cool. This is Race of Freedom. So this is the second press, a couple years after. And the Stan Lecowle, Bobby Hutcherson, Woody Shaw, Tyrone Washington, Reggie Workman, Joe Chambers. I like this one. Cool. It's a little more different out there, kind of spacey, I guess. Brilliant Circles is the name. So I never heard this, but I saw Stan Lecowle and I saw some of the players on here. And I don't have any Woody Shaw records. I might have a record or 2 with him on, but I know he's like highly talked about in the DC, and I'm not super familiar. I did listen to his first record, which I saw. I forget, somebody was talking about that they wanted it. I can't remember who it was. Was it Level Andrew maybe? I don't know. But yeah, so stoked to get that. It was an awesome one. This was the other Strata. This is insane. Clifford Jordan in the World. And this thing, like I said, is like original on Strata East, like VG Plus near mint. I don't know, just insane. The only like weird flaw with it is this little kind of label ding. Other than that, the thing is just amazingly clean. So clean I could eat off of it, I swear. Finally got some eat off records. But yeah, so now I got 2 Strata East records, and you guys all know this one. This is like, it's kind of like the Music Inc., you know, it's not too crazy out there, but it's really different and kind of loose and really good. So yeah, really stoked to get that. Was probably the most expensive, probably one of the most expensive records I've found in the wild, I would say. So insane, like insane to get that for $3. This is Ahmad Jamal. This is Jamal Plays Jamal, and it's the original on 20th Century. Actually, Jamal records on 20th Century are pretty good. Yeah, the stuff I have, I can't remember what else was in 20th Century, but this is kind of one I took a chance on. I know Jamal is hit and miss. This is like one of the ones I just threw in with the rest. I was like, oh, cool. And you'll see, because I pulled it with another Odd Jamal that's like a huge, desirable record. But this thing cooks, man. I really enjoy this one. This one is awesome. I'm so glad I grabbed this. Yeah, it's just like high energy and just really banging. This is the first one I listened to, I think, of the bunch. Yeah, it was just like, wow. I grabbed, I think I bought 25 records, and I ended up only keeping like 10 maybe. So most of the other stuff was just like kind of, I don't know, it was like more cheaper dollar. Like I grabbed a bunch of Phil Woods, because Phil Woods is kind of hit and miss for me too. So nothing like, there wasn't too much banging from that. Yeah, just a couple of like, so there was one record that had Bill Evans, but then I read that he wasn't even really, he was in the performance, but he wasn't really on the recording. I don't know, so a lot of stuff didn't, just taking chances. I mean, they were $3. This is the other Odd Jamal, The Awakening Odd Jamal Trio, and I actually already have this, so this is an upgrade copy, and my other copy is pretty clean too, so yeah, and this was, I saw this one, I was like, whoa, and then I saw the other mod, so I just pulled them both. I'm so glad I did. The other one cooks too. Yeah, I mean, I don't need to explain this. Everybody knows this is salt. And it's funny is because I paid up for this last year, and I got a sweet deal because this guy was selling on Instagram, and you know, so I bundled like a bunch of records. So I got it for a pretty good price, but I just found it for $3. So that's why you should just wait. You know, I feel like I just need to wait and be patient. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. That was a big score. You don't see like near mint records, like good near mint jazz records. That was the first time I've seen like a big stash of good near mint jazz records. Usually I can find like one random one-off or something, but yeah, that was insane. This I think is the last of the bunch. Bobby Hutcherson. This was the other Blue Note record that I scored. And this is good. This is their first one. I really like, you know, the one Black and Blues. It's probably my favorite. This one's good too, but I think it's all covers, which I don't really like enjoying people. It's not my favorite when they're jazz records where they're doing like soul covers and stuff, pop covers. I mean, she does do Lee Morgan on here, Sidewinder, and I know Lee Morgan's on here. I think Billy Harper's on here too, but they're not really featured a lot on here. So, I mean, they got some good players, but I don't remember hearing them too much on here. But it's still good. I'm stoked to get that out. So that was the other Blue Note I grabbed. Bob Humphreys. Let me flip the record here. All right, so yeah, I'm really loving this this Omsa Combo record. I think the first one's really amazing too, and that one's like impossible to find. Like nobody sells it. I mean, there's small presses too. They're like, I think the first one might have been 150, 200. This one might be a little bit more, 300. I'm not sure, but. Yeah, I don't know. Just nobody knows them really. Like even in Brazil, I mean, this record you can still buy this record from the label, and it was released. I guess it wasn't that long ago, January. It's been out for like 3 months. But once it's sold out, I mean, you'll never find it. But I don't know. I mean, it depends on if this is your thing or not. I love it. But if you're into like small press, kind of out there. Eastern tinge jazz, highly recommend. I think the whole thing's on Spotify. So I went to there's a local guy who does sales. He just buys tons of collections. I probably explained it before if you've seen my past videos, but he just buys collections locally. He's been doing it for like 20 years, so he's got cards everywhere. People just randomly call him. So when he gets a ton of records, he'll have a sale in his garage. I think he had like over 8,000 records. I can't remember. Um, so he actually ended up having the sale. So I went a couple weeks ago. So it's pretty cool. I mean, I found some stuff. I'll show. Nothing crazy. I used to find better, like really sweet deals because he got dollar boxes. But now, and he used to do it by himself. And I know sometimes he would buy collections a couple days before and he just wanted to get it out. But now he's got these two guys helping him now, so there's three of them. So he used to give like, you know, it used to be him. So he used to like take a stack and then they'd have the price and he'd give you like a discount. Now they don't really. I guess if you asked for it, they probably would wheel on deal. But he used to just like, oh, $100, how about 80, you know? And I used to find a lot sweeter records in the dollar bins, but found a couple of gems. So here's a couple. I don't know if I'm gonna keep these or not. I mean, these are. I had bought this one. It's pretty. I think it was in the dollar bin because it's pretty beat up in the corner here. But this is and this is a you know, like a Christian record. This is Fruit of the Spirit. He loves me. He loves you and me. I bought it because it just looked cool. It's a Dana Point record, which is like, you know, 10 minutes from here. Actually, the sale was in Dana Point, so I just, you know, whatever. I just thought, you know, it's a local record. I'll check it out. And I guess its classification is like Zion, which is like it's kind of like folky, you know, very with guitar, and it's got a flute. I gotta listen to it again, but it's really rare, you know, and I don't even think it's on Discogs, but I saw it on PopPsych, and you know, it's sold for some money. So I need to check it out again. But it is a JC record, which I'm not really into, but it's not a big deal. I mean, I listen to a lot of Brazilian music, and I don't even know what they're saying half the time. If I paid attention, I probably could figure out the gist, but for me, it's more about the vibe and the harmony and the sound and the music than actually I mean, I like the words too. Some if you've got good words, that's always a plus. And there's some music I like just because of the words. So I'm not saying that I don't care about the words, but if I don't, you know, if they're singing about something I'm not really into, it's not a huge deal if the music's amazing. So yeah. That was crazy. That was a dollar record. So I bought a ton of dollar records, but I gave a couple to my mom's fiance, and a lot of them were beat. I don't know, for whatever reason in the morning, you can't really get that good of a view, so you just take a gamble. And there's one guy who just like goes nuts, so he just starts pulling everything and like looks at it at the very end, so you kind of got to go fast and you get the stack. If you like checking every record out and stuff, he'll just grab everything. So this is another one, another dollar record I found. This is David Crosby, his solo album. I forget the name of it. It's like Why'd You Leave Me or something, or Where. I don't remember the name. If I Could Only Remember My Name. That was it. So I think he wrote it about. The thing is his only solo album. It's definitely his first. I don't know if it's his only, but this is a really good album. And I do actually have it. But I don't know if it's an upgrade copy or not. Definitely, I think the sleeve is. It's really nice. The sleeve here is really nice. So that's a sweet dollar find. I mean, it's basically Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I think it's a lot of the same players. I don't remember who else is on here, but this is a really good record. I mean, there's a ton of people playing. Jerry Garcia's on here. I'm trying to think. You got Neil Young, Phil Lesh, Graham Nash, Grace Slick, Joni Mitchell. Some other people that probably others would know, but I'm not really too well versed. Yeah, but sweet find for $1. I did pay up for this one. This is Love's second album. I think it's their second album. It might be their second. It's second or first. I can't remember which one's first. This is the Capo. I do own this already actually, but this is an upgrade copy. This thing's like super clean. Big E. Yeah, and actually I have their first 4 albums, but the first 2 I have are pretty beat. So this is sweet to get this. So I still need their other one. I think it's self-titled. I can't remember. It's like covers like similar, but not with no frame. I don't remember the name. I think that other one's my favorite one. Maybe this one's my favorite. I can't remember. That's really stoked to get that. Probably overpaid a little bit for it, but not a big deal. it's good. I mean, it's so clean. So I mean, if I did, it was like, you know, $5 over what I could probably get online, which you gotta ship anyway. So yeah, super stoked to get that one. Love. This was the other one I paid up. So I got mostly dollar records, and I usually, so the strategy is I get $2 records, and then I'll go inside and try to find stuff that's a little more expensive. But a lot of times people pull the good stuff off the wall, since I'm in the dollar boxes for maybe, you know, close to an hour, maybe half hour at least. But I grabbed this one. This is a Japanese press. There's no OBI or anything. The vinyl's pretty clean. I played it. Sounds good. The sleeve does have some issues. I think it's split on one side, but you know, I wasn't like super familiar with this album. I think I had heard it before, but I've seen it shown a lot, and I grabbed it. It's really good. Yeah, so it's nice. I don't have any Bud Powell either, so, and I'm guessing this is probably the most. See, I'm not super familiar. I don't know if this is like his most sought after one. But yeah, it was nice. I mean, I'm slowly building my jazz collection with like really good stuff. So yeah, awesome. It's great. Stoked to grab that one. It'd be nice to have like OBI or something, but I don't think I have any Japanese records with the OBI. I'm trying to think. I don't think I do. I don't really have that many Japanese records. Just a handful. I don't really seek them out. I found some. So here's some internet buys. This is Floating Points with Pharoah Sanders, London Symphonic Orchestra. This was an interesting record. I pre-ordered it, had no idea. All I saw was that Floating Points. I like Floating Points. It's like one of my favorite DJs. And he was coming out with the album Pharoah Sanders and London Symphony Orchestra, so I just pre-ordered it. I don't know. Yeah, I think this is what is it? Yellow White. This is an interesting record. I mean, it's good. It's really mellow. I don't know. It's like, how to explain? It's kind of like a mix between like classical and there is some electronic components. Obviously, Pharoah Sanders kind of just has this mellow kind of like solo through a lot of it, but it kind of has moments where it's kind of like like slow Pink Floyd-ish. I don't know. It's really good. There's I forget which one. I think it's Movement 6 or something. It's pretty banging. I mean, it's good music if you're just like sitting there working or something and just have something going in the background. It's pretty awesome. I think I showed this in a video I did a couple ago, but I ended up getting another press. I got the green one. This is Bufo Borealis, and they only made 300 copies, 100 on green, 100 on regular black, and 100 on transparent. So this is the green one. And now, actually, I was a little bummed. It's super heavy, but it's kind of warped a little bit. It plays fine, but yeah, I was a little bummed that it's not completely flat, but whatever. It plays. The reason I bought this one is it comes with a print, so it's like a more complete. I don't know. And so I'm gonna give I bought a clear one previously on Discogs, and I actually got this from the label. I didn't know. It took me a little searching to find the label, but they're sold out now. But I'm gonna give the clear one to my cousin for his birthday this weekend. So this is awesome. This is like, it's kind of like, it reminds me of Mars Volta a little bit. There's no singing though. The first song has some like spoken word stuff, but it's kind of like that dark spoken word. I don't know. It's kind of like, almost reminds me of like a Tool track or something. But it's like Omar Rodriguez, Lopez, or Mars Volta, where it's like, it's kind of jazzy, but it's like prog rock jazzy kind of. Yeah, I really enjoy it. This record's awesome. Highly recommend checking this out. Yeah, I don't know how to otherwise explain it. It does have there's one track where it does remind me of Pink Floyd a little bit, where it's like kind of like psych, but you know, not like hardcore rock psych, or kind of that spacey Pink Floyd-ish psych. So this is another one I bought online. I think this is the one. This just came a week ago, maybe less. Tony Scott, African Bird, Come Back, Mother Africa. So yeah, I have a couple other Tony Scott records, and I showed one in. Chris Cole had mentioned, like, this record's amazing, and I knew this was on my want list for a few years. I went down the Tony Scott rabbit hole a few years ago. I really enjoyed this one. I really liked the one Manteca, which is the one I have had already, which is Sweden. So Tony Scott, I mean, he kind of was here, did some stuff in the 50s, he's American, and then he just kind of went to like more like Eastern meditation type stuff, and then he was playing all over Europe with all these different players. But this one's from '84. Yeah, it's something about it. It's really good. It's got that like African. I think it's a dedication to Charlie Parker. Yeah, to the spirit of Charlie Parker. It's just mellow. It's got that like African. It's got like an African vibe, but it's obviously jazz and kind of it's not too much of an 80s tinge really at all. When I played this, my wife really liked it. She thought it was Brazilian, so it does have. It kind of reminds me of points of like Sexteto do Beco, which is, if you know Sexteto do Beco. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not very good at descriptions. Sexteto do Beco is from the 80s, so it's pretty close in time. It's not like traditional jazz. It's kind of has like the 80s jazz feel, but like really good and kind of groovy, but not like soul jazz. I don't know. You just have to check it out. But it's got. I think what reminds me, it's got the vocals from Sexteto do Beco. He has that girl Andrea Dalton or whatever. So it has some like vocal stuff, like vocal. It's not like they're singing. I don't think, unless it's a different language. But more of like vocal as an instrument, like high. Very high, like female vocals. It's really good. Yeah, highly recommend that. So thank you. And I saw someone else show that when I was watching the vinyl tags. So yeah, and then I just felt like it was time to buy it. I had wanted it for a while. Just it kind of got stuck behind the list of, I started seeking out Brazilian records, so my want list is kind of, it's always Brazilian records I'm looking for. Another online purchase. This is Gene Harris. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, I saw someone post this on Instagram. I think Second Funk did. And it's actually, you can't sample the whole album online, but I listened to a couple tracks. It is so cheap. I think I got it for like with shipping like $10. And it's on Blue Note. It's a later Blue Note. It's really good. It's not like my favorite Blue Note or anything, but it's a solid album for $10. Yeah, and I do like Gene Harris. He's got some stuff that's a little bit later. It's good. I know he's got some earlier stuff I need to check out too. So yeah, really excited to get that one. That's a nice find. Nice internet buy. This is my last internet purchase. This is Brazilian Girls. This is the original. Verve. Yeah, I don't know. I used to like this album's like for me kind of classic. And it's funny the name Brazilian Girls, but there's no Brazilians in the band. There's only one girl. So I don't know what's the deal with that. But I listened to this a lot, like 10 years ago. I don't know when it came out. 2005. But it has some. I mean, the track I think that where I discovered is like it's called Pussy. It was like Pussy, 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 Marijuana. So that I mean, I always thought it was kind of funny, but it's really good. But there's a couple banging tracks on here, like Don't Stop, and I think Homin', which might be the opening track. So I recently put it on my want list. But kind of, every once in a while, like I remember, like, oh man, yeah, that album I used to listen to a lot. So I put it on my want list. It's not the cheapest record, but I found a pretty sweet deal for this. But I think it came from Australia or something. It was like the shipping wasn't that cheap, but still, with the shipping and everything, it still was a sweet deal. But it took a while to get here. But yeah, really excited to get that. It's kind of like, like electronic punk, pop kind of. It's really good. Kind of like music you hear maybe at a club. I want to say here at a club, but not like a club. But I don't know. So, and then my last couple, I actually just bought a collection yesterday, so I just cleaned these. It was kind of classic rock. I was hoping, I saw some pictures, and I was hoping to just get, you know, and it was some really good stuff. Like a lot of Stones, a lot of Beatles, there was some Zeppelin, there was a Sabbath, which I'm going to show. So I was hoping that there was kind of some hidden gem in there. Which there ended up didn't be. And it was a guy, his aunt just passed away, so he was selling her collection, he was moving. I probably could have negotiated the price down, but I kind of emailed him early and kind of said I could buy the whole collection, and he was selling singles too, but I usually say I'm buying the whole collection because then people just want to get rid of it, so I feel like they're more likely to call me back or whatever if I'm saying I'm going to buy the whole collection. But a lot of stuff was kind of beat, but there was some like newer represses, so it's kind of cool that his aunt was still rocking. I mean, there were some like Beatles and Stones like represses, so she was still, I think because and there was doubles, so she like beat up her old ones, so she bought new versions. So she was still rocking the stuff late. I don't know how old she was. I mean, the dude was like probably, he's not my age, so I mean his aunt, maybe she was in her, at least in her mid-60s, I would say. But she had pretty sweet taste in music. It was kind of a wide mix. A lot of it was beat, like I said, but there was a couple gems. So I'll show this one first. This is kind of interesting. I don't know. I listened to it. I'm not exactly sure if I'm into it. It's kind of like, it's Linda Ronstadt, Canciones de mi Padre, and it's actually really kind of a pricey record and like pretty sought after. And a lot of stuff was beat, but this one actually is insanely clean. Probably one of the best, the cleanest records in the collection, besides some of the newer stuff. This is like from '87, I think. So I'll have to listen to it again. But that was an interesting find. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll keep it or not. And then the last one, this is my last record. So cheers to y'all, my last record. Dang, 37 minutes. Wow, I thought it was gonna be quick. And the album's done. But I'm not doing this over because it's late. So this is it, one take. Black Sabbath, Paranoid. This is on Vertigo. This is only my third Vertigo record. And this is a German press. It's not the UK press. I was excited when I saw, I mean, it's still exciting. But I was like, oh my god, is that the UK press? And it's not. It's the German press, which is still pretty, but it's not the best condition either. It's probably a VG. Yeah, I did listen to it. I cleaned it and listened to it right before I did this. And, yeah, it's got some noise, but it's like, you know, a typical record that's kind of has some a lot of marks and stuff. It like the outside the beginning plays a little bit rougher. As it goes in, it kind of gets quieter and quieter. Plus, this music's kind of loud, so I don't know. It's still sweet. I mean, the cover's pretty good. So if I ever run across, you never know, you run across a copy where you got a pretty trash cover with a good vinyl, you can kind of do a little switcheroo there, but yeah, I do have this record, but it's funny is so now I have a German press and I have a Brazilian press. So my mother-in-law gave me her Brazilian press. It was like one of the first records in my collection. When I started, she brought me her record. She didn't have many, but she did have a Brazilian press of this record. And this record, I mean, the two first Sabbath albums are amazing. The rest are so for me, but the first two are so good. But yeah, really excited to get that. This is for sure my one keeper from that collection. So yeah, I don't know if it's all worth it for for one record that's in VG Plus, but I did get some stuff I can easily make some money. I'm gonna flip it, make money off the collection. So not a big deal. But yeah, that was good to find that out in the wild. So I'll keep looking. But yeah, I got a lot of records I got to go through and get rid of actually. But anyways, yeah, thanks for checking this out if you're watching, and yeah, next week I'm getting not a lot, maybe like 10 Brazilian records, and some of it is that record club too, so I'll have like 2 or 3, so I should be getting like maybe like just a few older records, a few newer records, and then the record club. But anyways, excited to get them. But yeah, so I hope everyone's doing well, and see you later.